Hey guys, so today I'm at a BMW driving event and there's an opportunity to try a few different models, and of course I've selected this one. This is of course the M4 competition convertible, so it'll be interesting to try this. About 82,000 pounds, 510 brake horsepower. I'll put the specs and stuff on the sheet because again I'm on an event, so it's easy to just do that later on. But I'll do a quick look around the car inside and then we'll take it for a drive. Right then, so let's get, oh gosh, these seats, oh, these are proper bulky seats, these ones, I tell you that much. And they're quite tight, they are. I don't know what the spec is, I'll have to check later, but if it was up to me, I wouldn't spec these seats because getting in and out becomes, I mean, they've got massive grab handles in the side bolsters and they're fairly solidly snug, so they're really holding you in, so that's quite something. So in here, I mean, if you're familiar with, of course, the 3 Series, 4 Series, and this is all very familiar, USB charging space there, wireless charging, a cover for that bit, all your stuff down here. The difference is of course, you got this M buttons here, and you got these carbon paddle shifts on this one. No flat bottom steering wheel, but this is carbon effect. There's the M badge there as well. So again, you can see there. Obviously, I'm guessing that the display will be a bit different. Let's start it up. You've got a red starter button as well. I mean, just check these seats out. These are just absolutely extraordinary, aren't they? They're really meant to hold you in place. Oh, nice. That sounds meaty. Now, let's look at the modes, because you've got the M mode. M mode is that one. Full drive, power available shortly. So it's end drive. I wonder if there's a setup. So there is a setup here. So you've got chassis comfort. So somebody's already put the chassis in comfort. Engine is sport. Oh, I see. So sport, chassis in comfort, steering in sport, brake in sport, and then you've got all-wheel drive as well. So that's the setup for that one. And you've got the sports exhaust, which sounds, I think that's on. That's on now. Come up green. Be interesting to keep that on. So let's see how we get on with this and take it for a drive. So here we are in the BMW M4 competition. Now this is the sort of car where actually you need a little bit of time with it. So I'm going to do just under an hour's driving route now, and I've just started off in it. So it's hard to really get the full understanding of this car because again it has the multiple settings. You've got the presets on here, M1, M2, which you can set up in a particular way. You've got the sports exhaust on this car, and you've got the configurable mode as well. Now I've already configured the mode and I've put it into basically everything in sports apart from the suspension. Because I find that for these roads, I think that the harder suspension, and of course I haven't put it into Sports Plus, I've just put it into Sports. I suspect if I press the M1 it'll go into Sports Plus maybe, I don't know how they've configured it. So we'll just give it a try. We'll see how it is. Now it is under 10 degrees. I hope you can hear me, because obviously I've got the roof down. It's under 10 degrees centigrade, so it's not exactly warm, but I figure, you know what? How often do you drive a convertible and hey, it's not raining, you know, and the sun is shining, so I think it's time to put the roof down. It's got to be done, right? What I'm going to do is just whack the heating up, so to keep myself nice and toasty while the top part of it is exposed to the elements. So 20 minutes in or so driving, and yeah, definitely wouldn't spec these seats. I'm guessing that these seats come with the competition pack. So this is obviously the competition pack. So I'm guessing this is how you get these seats, because I would definitely, it's just, they're okay, they're very body hugging. I mean, on a track I think they would be really, really good, but over here they're just a little bit too tight in the backside, and maybe just slightly a little bit, and also they make you feel quite tense. You know, they make you feel like you have to be on it, whereas actually I've been driving this car in normal mode until now. I'm just going to put it into the sportier mode now, and it's been very relaxed. It's been very comfortable, very easy car to drive and get on with. So once you get going a little bit, I mean, it's still very quiet. I've got the exhaust. Yeah, the exhaust is now on. I think I've had the exhaust on the whole time because I just, you know, wanted to. Why not? Oh wow. Okay. Well, you know, the performance is solid and it's strong and it builds, but it's not instant. It's not like whack you in the back. I don't know if maybe if I try one of these pre-selected setups, and one is just jumped a little bit, the road straightaway. Just sounds more, the banging and the popping, you know, you're really getting a lot of burble and bark from the exhaust now, that's for sure. That's really cool. I mean, if for nothing else, that's good, right? This is all-wheel drive, obviously. The roads are very dry today. It's nice and sunny. No concerns about anything like that. But let's try the paddle shift. So if I move it across, so the gear lever is very strange in that, and it's gone into 3. Oh, I see. So there's actually a button on the gear lever. In addition to going into sports mode where it selects the most aggressive gear change, you can actually alter that from the little button. There's a little toggle switch actually on the gear lever. Now the gear lever itself has a very unusual setup for an automatic box, in that it's not like forward brindle, you know, not forward back like that. It's actually kind of set up like a manual. So it's left and up. It's left for neutral, up for reverse. You press the P button for park, and then to drive, you move it to the right, and then to get the sports mode, you move it to the right again. So it's kind of, there's a weird kind of a configuration pattern going on here that enables you to do that. Now, I believe I'm in manual mode now. These toggles, these paddles are really nice. They've got a nice feel about them because they're carbon, but they've got like a textured surface on the backside, which is nice because that's where your fingers touch them, and that feels really good. Kind of grippy, you know, which is what you want. They move with the steering, so that's another plus. So they're always where you expect them to be. Now we've entered into a city. That's the trouble with driving around here, is that, you know, you're 1 minute you're in the 60 zone, and then suddenly you're in the city, in a town zone again. So I'm just gonna. So if I press the H mode, see, this is why you need time with this car, because I haven't quite figured out. As far as I can figure out, press the H mode, goes into road. Press it again, it goes into sport. You press and hold, it goes into track. We will not be doing that today. Actually, I've got to turn off the M mode from here. Yeah, that's it. So with the two toggle buttons, once you've set them up, you can immediately quick access in and out of those modes. It's in 5th gear, it's tractable, very good in 5th gear, no problem at all. The ride isn't too bad once you're on the move, it's absolutely fine, not an issue. But again, the body is very firm, it's very firmly set up. This is what you'd expect, obviously, with this sort of car, so that's not really entirely a surprise. I must say that with this color, which is kind of this matte blue, I like it, really nice. And I've got the roof down, obviously, but the window's up, so the buffeting is very minimal, in fact hardly at all, and I'm able to record this as well. It's also quite comfortable because I got the heating on, so no problem. And heated seats, yes, these are heated seats. It does also attract quite a bit of attention, as you could imagine. Maybe because it's an M4 and it's blue and it looks cool, or maybe people are thinking, why has he got the roof down in this weather? But there you go. Hey, the sun is shining, so why not? I gotta say, it's really one of those things where you gotta understand the modes and how they all work, because on the go and trying to learn them now, it's kind of complicated which button operates what. But I think I've got it in full sports mode now. It certainly feels like it. Quite aggressive. The brakes are very reassuring, quite solid. This is a good little road, quite twisty. So again, you know, on this road with the surface being as it is, the ride is actually very good. The car is completely flat, very, very composed, no issue at all, and the brakes are actually fantastic. The gear changes, as you can imagine, the responses are straight away instant and very accurate. The steering is nicely weighted. I could do with a bit more feel to the steering wheel. I could actually do with a little bit more weight, actually. I wouldn't object to it, that's for sure. There is a fair bit of drama to this car, especially with the sports exhaust on. You know, people can hear it rumbling past. But oh wow, now we're in the right sort of terrain for this, and it's coming into its own. The steering is tightening up, very, very nice. Good bit of composure there through that dip and corner. Fantastic. But it's one of those cars, I gotta say, because we are in an area where we're going, you know, from the black bars into town and then black bars, it's kind of frustrating, because really what you want is you want a nice clear run in this car. And I suspect, like, you know, if you could, then you'd really, really start to get the best out of it. But just as you start to enjoy it, you find you have to slow down again. I do like the way the exhaust is just rumbling and burbling there in the background, even at the lower speeds. It's a bit naughty. Feels a bit naughty. The performance is like, if you have to catch it in the right, if you start from zero, then, you know, it takes a while, but if you keep it in the right zone and keep the gears locked in, and you can keep it in third, oh wow, absolutely solid turn in. I hope you can hear me, but brilliant. Grip composes, turns in, no problem at all. And it will change down, it will happily change down. You get a nice satisfaction, you know, using, you know, sometimes with the paddle shifts, they're not quite that satisfying to use, but in this case they are. You know, I am actually gaining the satisfaction of using those paddle shifts and just enjoying, you know, switching them in and out and what have you. Look at all this. It's so beautiful. And this autumn, I mean, normally I'm not a fan of autumn because it just makes a mess and the leaves are all over the road, but just coming through those trees and the leaves just coming down on you. Fantastic car, convertible, sunny day, beautiful leaves just fluttering around you. You know, few days are like this, let's be honest, but you might as well enjoy them while you can. So there you go. I mean, this car, to be honest, is one of those cars, and again, now I'm in a 20 zone. Let me put it back into automatic. It's one of those cars where you need a lot more time with it to really understand what it's capable of, what it can do, and how it does it, than this short drive. But B, from what I can see on this, or what I can feel on this short drive, is it is perhaps a little bit of a Jekyll and Hyde car, in the sense that I can do this 20 miles an hour. Now it's in full auto, in normal mode, and it's absolutely fine. And the ride is comfortable. It is a little bit stiff even in this mode, and you can feel it, but also it's a convertible, so there's probably extra strengthening in there, but it can do it, and it's quite happy to do it. And it's generally an easy car to drive as well. But when you find a nice bit of road, or if you take it to somewhere where you can really give it its head, so to speak, then that's where you'll truly start to appreciate its abilities and the depth of its abilities and what it can do. In the few instances that I've had to really give it some beans, you can really start to feel what this car, what it enjoys doing, actually, what it's actually meant to be doing. So in that sense, it's almost it is a little bit frustrating to have this car and not to be able to do that all the time. And in that sense, you know, like before this car, I drove the M440, and that's pretty much got all the performance that you really need in the real world. And in a sense, you get to the point where you think, well, actually, that's a really easier car, probably a better everyday car to live with. But just Fantastic. What a great car this is. Yeah, of course you want one. Of course I want one. We all want one. There you go. Let me know if you want one. Not that I'm paying you one, but leave your comments below on what you think of the BMW M4. Shout out and thanks to Jay Williams over at Air Technic, who are my top tier sponsors. Check them out for exhaust, brakes, suspension and even body kits. Also much appreciation to my tier 4 sponsors Muhammad Ali Ahmed and Tom Conway Gordon, and of course all of these other guys who have joined me on Patreon. Without their support I can't be creating the content that I am doing. Perhaps you can join them. Head over to patreon.com/browncarguy. Even if you can't do that, make sure you're subscribing and sharing this channel, which of course is youtube.com/browncarguy. Also subscribe to browncarguy.com and follow me on all the socials. Just search for my hashtag, which of course is #BrownCarGuy.